Most people visit Mount Fuji and only stop at one lake for one quick picture, but I wanted to see more. The best reflections, the quietest spots, and the view that actually deserves the hype. So I rented a car, mapped out my route, and spent a week chasing Mount Fuji from every angle I could find. From the famous 1,000 yen bill viewpoint to hidden shores most tourists skip. This is my hunt for the best Mount Fuji lake view. And stick around to the end, there's one last surprise. It's got nothing to do with the lakes, but it might be the most perfectly Japanese thing I've ever seen. Covered in snow with Mount Fuji in the background. Hello, I'm a 6'11".
Okay.
Great. Perfect.
The first, the finish the display the side up.
Okay. Oh, when I'm finished with the plate.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, this is to take and
Oh.
finish the side up.
Okay.
Okay.
So when I leave, I turn it upside down.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right, let's check out the breakfast. Let's check out the breakfast buffet. Deep fried tofu mixed with thinly sliced vegetables. Okay. So we have some authentic Japanese. Macaroni salad. Some fresh breads here. Twisted, we've got some pastries, cinnamon rolls, hotel bread. Some miso soup. Bunch of fruit. All these fresh juices. Milk, grape, apple, green smoothie. Some cheese, ham, soft ramen, chicken roast. Curry, fresh pancakes, omelet, scrambled eggs, deep fried fish cake, okay, salmon, it's like a type of noodle soup, okay, well, let's grab a tray. All right, here is our breakfast. So I got an omelet, some salmon, a piece of ham, rice flour, French toast, and a croissant, and then some kiwi veggie juice. Let's try the salmon first. It's good salmon. Just salty. For this rice flour bread. This just tastes like regular flavorless bread. Just like it tastes like bread with rice in it. Tastes like rice bread. Got a little pancake here. Pancake tastes great. I'm gonna try the French toast now. French toast tastes great. Not amazing, it's not the Marriott, but it's still great. Now let me try the croissant. Tastes like a regular croissant. Try this egg omelet. Looks just like a scrambled egg. It's like a very plain egg. See, the view is amazing.
Mount Fuji's covered by some clouds, but still beautiful. Yam isn't as flavorful here in Japan.
Most people that visit Mount Fuji do it on a quick day trip. Just enough time to grab one photo, one lake, and then rush back to Tokyo. But that's never really been my style. I always love getting away from the crowds, seeing the quieter side of Japan. And in this case, I wanted to see all the lakes. So I planned ahead, mapped out the drives, and gave myself a full day to explore every single one. But before getting started, I made the most important stop in any Japanese road trip, the convenience store. Out here near Fuji, restaurant options are surprisingly limited, especially fast food options.
7-Eleven first. All right, next, I'll show you what I got. Got 2 bottles of water, salmon and rice, used to that, some cold fried chicken, and then a sandwich, a chicken cutlet sandwich. So gonna eat this, needed some fuel, and then I'm gonna hit the road and hit the destination I was actually gonna go to on Thursday. This is the famous lake. It's called, let me get the pronunciation right. So it's called Lake Motosu. And it's the famous lake you see on the picture of the $1,000 bill here. So I am gonna definitely need these calories though, because it may include some walking. Here we go.
Fourth place, Lake Motosu. My first stop and my number 4 pick on this list is Lake Motosu.
All right, Motosuko, look out. All right, someone has rudely left their car here instead of parking a lot over there. Wow. Man, look at that. This is beautiful. Yeah. All right, here we are at the famous lookout, and we are waiting. Looks like the clouds are moving to the left, and there's a gap between this cloud that's covering it now and then this other big cloud coming. So looks like we may have about like a 15-minute window with a clear view. So we're just gonna wait here and try to hope for. All right, here I am, very windy. Here I am, Lake Motosuko. This is the famous spot right on the back of the $1,000 bill. That's how famous it is. With the exception of this little cloud covering the top of Mount Fuji, we are getting some great views of Mount Fuji right now. It is, with the exception of the top covered in clouds, man, it is beautiful. All right, so let me give you some logistics here. There's about a 10-car parking lot, and looks like some people just park right at the edge if they want to, but it's not crowded at all. It's definitely a cold day, but still a weekday around 3 o'clock. It's beautiful and sunny, and there's nobody here. So if you want to avoid the crowds, rent a car, drive 30 minutes, and here you are. Wow, man, this is just absolutely beautiful.
Now this lake is famous for being that exact view printed on Japan's 1,000 yen bill. When I first got there, Mount Fuji was hiding behind a few clouds, but the scene was still incredible. Calm, still, and almost empty. This is the farthest lake from the main area, about a 45-minute drive, and I probably saw less than 5 cars there the whole time. Standing there seeing that exact image from the currency in real life, it felt surreal.
Wow, what a legendary lookout. Man, and nobody here. Plenty of parking. This is definitely a must-do stop. Definitely. Gosh, so cool. Oh man, all right. Well, Lake Motosu. Let's see. Let's see what else there is to do on this side. So we're actually going to Lake Shoji. This is the smallest of the lakes, and there's just a beach. It's called Taketo Hama Beach, and it is supposed to be some beautiful scenes. It's basically so if Lake Motosu is the farthest west, this is the second farthest west. So I started far west and working my way back in. So looks like the views of still got about 3/4 of the views visible on Mount Fuji, and about how far of a drive is this? Oh, only a 12-minute drive. So man, it's gonna be quick and fun. All right. All right, here I am. All right, here I am at one of the best hidden gem spots of Lake Fuji. As you can see, it is completely empty now, maybe because it's freezing cold, but it's also empty because it's one of the lesser known lakes on Lake Fuji. So, or for lesser known lakes for Mount Fuji. Man, look at this husband and wife wedding photos. Oh my God. But all right, you could normally, if it wasn't so windy, you could see the reflection of Mount Fuji and this lake. So this is Lake Sojuko or Sojo. And you could see you could maybe go paddle boarding or kayaking, but man, what a beautiful view. Man, I drove here. It wasn't like a designated parking spot, just a huge gravel lot. There's only like 1 or 2 inns here. It's just crazy that something this beautiful next to a city with a bazillion people, only 2 hours away. This is desolate. Like if this was in America, there'd be like a Holiday Inn and like hundreds of inns here, but it's not. Oh man, this is just breathtaking. Wow.
This one's tiny, the smallest of the Fuji Five Lakes, and there's just one small hotel sitting up by the water. It's so quiet and peaceful that I actually stopped talking for a few minutes just to listen to the wind. It's not dramatic or flashy, but that's what makes it so special.
All right, next up is Saiko Lake. So this is, again, moving closer to Lake Kawaguchi. This is the one directly to the west of Lake Kawaguchi. And I'm going to this kind of tourist attraction called Saiko Nimba Hama. It's kind of like this, where it looks like a place where you can go kayaking in the summer or boat riding, and in the winter like this, it's just a place where people are parked. So I'm gonna go check out the view there. It's only about 10 minutes away, so I'm gonna try to warm up in the car on the ride there, and then we'll be on our way. Man, what a beautiful drive. And it's about 4:30. All right, there's 3 hotels here. Sojo Lake Hotel. Man, these hotels look run. That actually might be an abandoned hotel. Man, no one comes to this lake. Sojo Lake is deserted. Man, if I wanted a peaceful escape, of course, if you want any restaurants or any attractions nearby, that ain't gonna happen. All right, got a turn coming up. All right, we just arrived at Lake Saiko. There's a small parking lot of about 10 spaces. And then there is like a dirt parking lot here, almost kind of like a boat ramp that is kind of could be used as a parking lot. I guess I could have drove here, but man, you look at this spot. This is definitely a hidden gem. Yes, it is cold outside, and yes, it's not peak season, but it's still, you know, we're March, we're like early cherry blossom season, not quite at the bloom. And look at what we have here. This is absolutely amazing. All right. You could see we almost have 100% view of Mount Fuji, but we have about the clouds covering the top quarter of it, but it is absolutely beautiful. And we have these beautiful. All right, here we are, and as you can see, there's no benches or anything here. There's one picnic table, but you can tell, I'm sure during the summer, everybody's on these boats. But for now, wow. All right, as you can see, we have a very small beach here where you can put some boats off to. Lots of boats there, but what you can't escape is this beautiful view. You see there's like a beachhead there where people are taking their pictures. But here is where to find the best Instagram spot, you always have to look at what's in your foreground. And right now I have a boat hitting the light right here. This is gonna be my money shot picture. Right here. Boats in the foreground, lakes in the midground, Mount Fuji's in the background. 3. All right, the hunt for Mount Fuji's top Instagram spot continues here. We're at Lake Saiko, and I mean, let's see, does this fit the criteria? Does it have a great photo spot with background, midground, foreground? Well, background, unobstructed views of Mount Fuji. You know, we have not only a ridge, but Lake Saiko in the midground. And we have a lot of great scenes here with these boats and a floating dock here in the midground. Absolutely. What's the atmosphere like? It's definitely deserted. You can see we have very few people. A tour bus came, but it's been mostly me the whole time. There's even a hiking ridge you can go along this lake. I didn't have time today. And then there's a little bit of a development here, so you have some restaurants and bars, but yeah, this spot is definitely in the hidden gem category. It's only about 10 or 15 minutes away from like the main populated Lake Kawaguchi, and wow, it is absolutely stunning. So does Lake Saiko win the title for best Instagram spot of all of Mount Fuji? Well, I haven't found a bad spot yet, but we're gonna continue our search. As you can see, man, people don't stay here long when it's this cold, but we have a lot more spots to check out.
Finally, number 1, Oishi Park on Lake Kawaguchi.
All right, our hunt for Mount Fuji's best Instagram spot, of course, would not be complete without going to Oishi Park. All right, as you can see, Mount Fuji is in all its glory.
Normally, I don't pick the most touristy spot as my favorite, but There's a reason everyone comes here. It's stunning. Mount Fuji perfectly framed by flowers, the lake shimmering in the sunlight, and the air filled with that soft hum of people. Just happy to be there.
Man, as I'm sitting here watching this sunset, I'm wondering, is this the most beautiful sunset in the world right now? I think it could be. This is the most beautiful mountain in the world, and we couldn't ask for a more clear day. And the sunset is absolutely stunning. When you're taking the pictures, you don't, sometimes you remember, but you kind of forget how cold and miserable you are, and you just kind of remember this view. Oh, man. All right, is Oishi Park the top Instagram spot for all of Mount Fuji? Maybe. Does it meet the criteria? Does it have beautiful view? Yes. Plenty to see in the foregrounds and midgrounds. Yes. Flowers. Lots of beautiful flowers. Let's talk about the atmosphere. It is extremely crowded, so that may be a negative, but it's also crowded because it's got one of the best views. So it's a trade-off. Best views for most crowded. Not willing to say that's best views, but it's definitely one of the best views. Can it get so crowded that it becomes not worth it? That may be a factor. Accessibility, this parking lot is huge. Now I'm sure when it's nicer weather, it's a pain in the butt to get in and out of. At the moment, it's not that crowded and it wasn't, but accessibility could be in a couple negatives. Now things to do, this is in the epicenter of the popular part of town, so lots of things to do, lots of cafes. There's a restaurant right here, so and if you're looking for activities as well as a great photo spot, then this is definitely it. But we have a lot more spots to see, so I'm not willing to make a final review for the top Instagram spot, but this is definitely in the running. So Oishi Park, you know, it's up there. So I've been doing outdoor adventures for my whole adult life, and there are certain sunsets that you will remember for the rest of your life. And now that I'm getting older, not that old, but getting older compared to starting hiking and outdoorsy stuff a long time ago, I start realizing that in the moment now instead of after the fact. And so now, here in the moment, my first day in Mount Fuji, my first sunset on Mount Fuji, and I already know this is gonna be one of the sunsets that I remember for the rest of my life. Man. Just soak that in and be grateful that you're here. Thank yourself for all the hard work you did to get to this destination, mentally, physically, financially, and logistically. And you just soak it in. Hits you, you watch it, and then you leave, because for every sunset, it goes away. Then there's another one, so we're off to find the next sunset.
A perfectly Japanese surprise. You know, this next part wasn't even supposed to happen. It's not another lake, but honestly, it turned out to be one of my favorite moments of the whole trip. As I was driving between lakes, something bright and red caught my eye. Out here in the middle of quiet roads and fresh snow, it stood out like a beacon. A Coca-Cola vending machine. Not next to a shop or a gas station, but just sitting there, completely alone on the side of the road. I actually had to pull into someone's driveway just to stop and take a picture. I didn't plan this at all. It just happened. But maybe that's what made it so perfect. The machine glowed against the snow with Mount Fuji rising quietly behind it. It felt so Japan. Simple, familiar, and somehow magical. And the funny part, I don't even drink soda, but this random stop, this tiny, unplanned moment, it stuck with me more than almost anything else from the trip. Sometimes the best parts of travel aren't the ones you plan. They're the moments that find you, like a red vending machine shining in the snow beneath Mount Fuji. Back to Oishi Park. One last time on my last night, I went back to Oishi Park, my #1 lake. And this time it looked completely different. It had snowed the night before and the whole landscape had transformed.
So we're here right at sunset. So the official sunset time is in about 10 minutes. So you can see everybody here is getting their perfect shot. You see. All right, so we're gonna, if you walk down just a little bit, you'll notice that it gets a lot less crowded. So, see if I can walk by without photobombing too many people.
The flowers were gone, the air was still, and everything was covered in a quiet layer of white snow.
All right, we're at the famous Oishi Park. It is about 5-10 minutes before official sunset time. It is cold. The temperatures are probably down in the low 20s Fahrenheit. And yeah, this is gonna be my last sunset looking at Mount Fuji from, well, Mount Fuji. I may see a sunset from Mount Fuji from Tokyo, but yeah, as you can see, this is maybe the last time I see Mount Fuji. And yeah, just the views are just spectacular. As you can see, once you walk about 5 minutes or 1 minute away, it's far away, but yeah, and I think I'm gonna commemorate this with, as you can see, I have a prop. This is a Fuji apple in Mount Fuji. So, I'm gonna, well, I kinda wanna eat this apple, but also I'm gonna stick it in the snow here and take a couple pictures. So, the key to the perfect Instagram photo is you need something in the background, which we have Mount Fuji. You need something in the midground, which we have beautiful Lake Kawaguchi. And you need something in the foreground. So we have some snow here, which is okay. We have a tree, which is okay. But what we don't have, and what we do have now, is a Fuji apple. So I'm gonna see if this Fuji apple will stand on the snow here, which it does. And you could see now I have a really compelling, colorful, this also brings contrast. So I'm gonna have the contrast with the red apple. I have Mount Fuji in the sunset. So let's see how this picture turns out. So I have a very windy, see if my camera won't fall over, but now we'll try to take this epic picture. All right, you can see I have the apple in the foreground, beautiful Mount Fuji. Now, I like photos where you can tell where the photo is from the picture. So if that's not obviously enough Mount Fuji, maybe the hint of the apple will help. All right, so here we are. We are right at sunset. You can see we have some kids playing around there. See, this is exactly sunset time right now. The sun has finally gone away, and I think there's no better way to commemorate my final sunset at Mount Fuji. Just took photos with the apple. This is a famous Fuji apple, and just gonna enjoy this final sunset while eating my Fuji apple. I've been eating Fuji apples my whole life. They are the most common apples in all of America. They are the cheapest apple in all of America. And they come from Mount Fuji, I'm guessing. for someone who eats apples on the regular basis, this is by far the best apple with the best view, most symbolic view I've ever had. Mount Fuji apple, Mount Fuji sunset. Man, normally these are just called Fuji apples, but here I call them Mount Fuji apples. Symbolism makes fruit 10 times better. Final sunset of Mount Fuji, not the final view of Mount Fuji, but final sunset for a perfect Fuji apple. You cannot ask for anything better. So that is our visit to Oishi Park. Is this the best view in all of Mount Fuji? Maybe. You let me know, but it is absolutely beautiful. It's crowded, but things that are crowded for a reason. So as you can see, the views never stop here.
Mount Fuji never disappoints. Every lake had its own story, its own view, and its own kind of magic. I'll drop my favorite Google Map pins in my free travel email list. Sign up through the link in the description. Subscribe for more journeys across Japan and beyond. See you in the next one, and as always, travel far.